Hey folks, it's Brian. I'm still here. GenCon Day 2, Thursday, which was yesterday. I had two games. One was Pendragon, the Three Damsels of the Fountain, and the other was Darkness at Runegate. So, Three Damsels. This was actually a really, really fun game. We had a group of five and then a single player coming. So the group of five was really good. They were younger kids, college age, I guess. I don't know. And they were exuberant. They had never done Pendragon before. They were interested in. They wanted to see how it was done, that kind of stuff. And so we had discussion about the various periods of the Arthurian Great Pendragon campaign thing, and there's the Boy King period, which the sixth edition is focused on, and then there's it's not the Twilight, but the one before the Twilight, the Romance period, which is where this one is set, right? And then go over the discussion about the stats and stuff like that, and I found out through the game on the combat side there was some confusion on taking wounds and healing and that kind of thing, but we worked through it. So there's the discussion of, okay, there's two guys trying to stop the marriage going to Arthur, and there's the two guys whose message wasn't in the scenario, just that they had a message for Arthur. And digging through the prequel kind of stuff, I'm looking at going, I think what they're trying to do is they still think that their uncle was murdered by the guy who was vindicated through the combat. But we know that the uncle was actually murdered by one of the fairies in the scenario. So I kind of reworked that they're going to Arthur to see if he will investigate to see if it may have been a fairy involved in the murder of their uncle. And then there's the two escorts. So they go on, they get to the crossroads. There's Dame Adventure. She does her spiel. But the guys, some of the players were really, really anxious about this whole adventure. We need to be valors or knights, not the round table, but they're Arthurian knights, and they need to do this. And think of the stores we can take with us back to Camelot. And there was just one piece from one of the escorts about, hey, we're here to escort you to Camelot. And he goes, yeah, we'll do that as soon as we're done with this adventure. We got that kind of thing. So it actually worked well. I've had some sessions go where the guys playing, or the folks playing, the escorts say, no, we are going to Arthur's court. You're coming with us. We're escorting you. You're going to get there safe. That kind of thing. We don't have time for this. But they accept the challenge. So they go and they get to the fountain with the three damsels. They make some rules about the whole thing. And somebody made a critical success on their either awareness or hunting to realize that where they are based upon the fountain and the angle of the sun, it's the time and the distance is all changed. And fairy lore, yeah, things are different in fairyland. Okay, so they go on the first adventure, the Youth's Folly, and the Knight of the Hare just tears the party apart. Night after night after night goes down at him. He took 5 hit points of damage total. And I forgot the whole magical healing thing at first. So the second time he got hit, the magical healing, the fire, and the taking damage to the player happened. So they started investigating the fire and stuff. And they worked it all out. They're still a little confused about the whole deal about you dump the bucket of water on the fire and the fire doesn't go out because the magic part of the fire is still magic. The fire itself goes out, and it's a combination of the two, apparently, that allows the magical fire to hurt the other player and heal him or something like that. So it got a little convoluted there, but that's just because people aren't understanding, and I'm maybe not expressing myself right well. So, like I said, one guy actually goes negative. They do first aid, bring him positive. 2 others are unconscious, but they do healing, and I think that brings them conscious. So they just start figuring what can do, and they start thinking maybe we can gang up on him. And so one guy does a charge attack from the rear. One of the guys grabs one of the players. One of the characters grabs the girl and just tries to leave with her, take her, get her out of here, kind of thing. But the fairy knight jumps on his steed, swirls around. No, she's mine. If you want to take her, you need to play with her blood, kind of thing. And while that's going on, one of the knights grabs his lance and charges the fairy knight from the rear, but he missed. So they start doing some role play, And the fairy knight fumbled his reaction roll, so he says, "Fine, take her. I'm done with her anyway. She's no good to anyone." So they take her to. No, they don't take her to. Well, they do take her to the fountain, but from there she gets back. Um, but they're at the fountain, right? Healing waters. So we do first aid to everybody, and then they get a D6 of healing from the healing waters on each of the wounds and that kind of stuff. So 3 chirurgery rolls, or 3 major wounds inflicted during this combat. So they stay for a week, and the damsels of the fountains do chirurgery for these folks, get the chirurgery check fixed. Holy cow, that was a mess. And they get healing rolls, right? Healing rate. Okay, so next week they head towards the second one. They get to the town. It's all icy, and they know about everything's bad. People are gonna die here. It's all cold and wet and miserable. And they get inside, and the middle damsel gives her a little speech about, hey, you might be able to woo her, maybe get a title out of it, and help thaw her heart and heal the land, kind of thing, right? And a couple of players jumped on that right away, and they just started writing. Before I go into okay, we need to have 3 tasks. I'm going to write her this love poem. I'm gonna write a song praising the strengths of her husband and that kind of thing, right? And they actually try to interact with her as she's leaving. And so I have one of the handmaidens go up and put her fingers on the lips. You can't talk to her. If you want to leave a note, you can leave it with us. And so they finish their notes and give it to them, and bypassing things, right? Okay, the damsel gets like, okay, hey guys, if you really want to woo her, there's 3 things you need to do. So they did part of the third part up front because they rolled their dice. They were successful on their composing. It was kind of fun. But I was going to run with it, right? Okay, you're doing this, you're doing that. Okay, she's going to come back, and at the party, she's going to say, hey, sing this for me. Or, hey, play a tune for this. That kind of thing. So it all worked out in the end. But okay, 3 things. First is the jousting. And so I try to speed through this because jousting can take forever. So they all go out to Crossroads. Does it take a week? Yeah, it takes a week. Are we going to do joust every day? No, we're not. We're just going to do a single joust for each player, and the one who's got the most wins, or the best win out of that, is the winner of the joust part. And there was a tie. Or not. No. Somebody actually unhorsed a knight, so he won that competition. The other 2, won the 3 passes, but they didn't unseat the guy. So that's how that worked out. So there was a winner there. And then they go to the boar hunt, and there are guys like the brother of one of the brothers isn't interested in the whole wooing thing, but he wants to help his brother do the wooing thing. So I worked out, okay, there's no really help function in the game, but you can go on the hunt as well. And if you find the boar, you just kind of keep it there, blow your horn, wait for your brother to show up, and so he gets the kill, right? And so we start on the boar hunt, and the first player rolls he rolled a regular success, but the boar rolled a failure. So I interpreted that as a critical success on the hunt. So you found him; he's right there. He gets it with with his lance. The boar's not. He did a lot of damage, but didn't take the boar all the way down. So he jabs it again, and that puts the boar below negative, so it goes unconscious. He gets down, and that's when the whole invisible fairy shows up. Mine, you're killed. My boar's mine. That was kind of fun. And it's swirling around, and it doesn't really discuss in the thing about what he does, other than if they ask him questions, he throws mud at him. Okay, so just ignore him. So what? There's got to be some kind of an interaction there, right? So I play that if the player knight actually grabs the boar and ties it off to the horse or whatever, because they're not gonna be able to pick that up, right? That he's going to attack with his dagger, and he's invisible. He makes a couple of attacks. He misses a couple times. He actually did get 1 hit, but by that time, I gave 3 rounds for the knight to get everything tied up, and then off he rides. And the fairy's not gonna be able to keep up. So the fairy does get to come back in the final scene. So they get back. They have the feast. Yay! Everything's good to go. And then there's the whole third competition. What can you do besides kill and get food? And the 2 guys already made their composition. So one of the players doing his composition and made it, and then they have to make their performance rolls. And two of them made that. The one who got the boar and also had a win on the, wasn't a clean sweep. He got the boar and he won the competition, or he had the best result of the competition, and he was like second in the jousting kind of things. It all worked out that he won the whole competition, right? So he gets a chance to do his. Do you want to take the more passion? Yes. Okay. It's this big, and then do you want to propose? Or yes. It's okay. We have the celebration party, and then the fairy shows up and starts attacking. They've got their daggers for the first round. They're going to do, the players do awareness, attack on a third round, awareness, and they call for their swords. So on the fourth round, they can either do awareness or attack with the swords minus 15. It got a little confusing because of the time difference. Because every round, the fairy's knifing, and he knifed one. He missed once. He knifed one of the ladies in waiting, and got her good. I don't remember what her hit points were, but he did like massive amounts of damage. He didn't get a crit, but he did a lot of damage. So she screamed, and I had her pass out because she'd have. I figured she had 23 hit points, kind of thing, and he did. Oh, 23. That's right. No, never mind. Anyway, massively hurt her. The third time, he actually got Lady Grianne, and but didn't hurt her too badly. But between all of that, they managed to get at the end 2 hits on the fairy, which puts him unconscious, if not dead. I think he actually got dead. And one of the knights wasn't going to bother attacking because 0 skill or negative kind of thing with the dagger, not going to do anything. Even with the sword, they're at 0 kind of deal. So the player took a swig of ale or wine at that point, right, and just tries to makes the awareness roll. Okay, so he's like over there and it spews out there to try to get stuff on him or something. Was not successful, but nice idea. But they end up getting the dead fairy. There's a song that the fairy sings. It's set up in the scenario that at the end, after he kills somebody, he sings this little song that talks about Sir Hugh. So I'm changing it to he's singing this song the whole time. And so they hear the line about Sir Hugh, and that kind of gives you an answer. Okay, this fairy is the one who killed Sir Hugh. And they get Legrand to vouch on their behalf that that's what the fairy had said, and they get the invisible fairy body. So all is joyous, and they go back to the fountain. They heal up some more, and then they head off to the third scenario or the third adventure. And there's that briar around the keep, and because it's a magical briar. So what I had is it actually opens up for people to come in, but it closes behind them. People can't get out, which kind of explains how they can get in without getting hurt, but they have to fight to get out. But they get there, whole thing goes on. Cleanne is not so happy to see the knights. Well, she's happy. They did save her, right? But they weren't valiant, and she didn't have, she didn't fall for any of them and that kind of thing, right? So they're still invited to the thing. They're not brought to the head table, but they're brought to the table. They're given food and feasting, and everything's happened. They get to make some rolls for the fun things that happen during the festival, the feast. And then Cleanne's younger sister, picks one of the knights to put her sights on, and then does the whole "will you help me with the backgammon" thing. And he's got no gaming skill. So he attempts to flirt with the handmaiden to put her off her game. And I allowed that, but she still made it. She won. So Bleanne's a little disappointed in that. So later on in the night, there's the whole, she's going to pick somebody else for the whole dance, or the handmaiden picks one of the other knights, which is the brother of the first guy, for the whole dancing. Sir Boniface is coming to ask her to dance. Quick, save her, interpose, and ask her to dance instead. And he makes his jump over the table, no problems. Oh, you can ask her to dance. And he actually, the player actually was pretty cool. Look, Sir Boniface is like right behind him. I think goes, oh, you don't want to dance with him. Dance with me instead. That kind of thing. And so go off and they dance. Didn't make him roll for that because he got no dancing skill either. But he made the roll to get interposed, and so the fairy magic happens, and it was a critical. No, he has to roll against his chase, and he fumbled his chase roll. So I interpret that as a critical. Um, so I added an extra die to the Amor Blian passion, and he rolled, I think it was 10, and then it's plus 12, so he's got a 22 passion for her. Okay, so the damsel gets everybody together. Okay, we need to plan. We got to get out. She's got to go and meet her lover, and we got to make sure it's safe. And you guys don't fight with Sir Garhouse. That's not go good. So you got to sneak her out. So they have Dame Carwindor take the girl, take her up. They're going to try to disguise her as a serving wench, and then try to bring her out. Still make the awareness stuff, right? But give them a bonus, right? And then, so they have to figure out, okay, who's riding what horses. So two of them go out to do horses. One of the guys stays in to play a song to distract everybody because he's singing the praises of Sir Garhas and his adventures. And then Dame Commodore and the older damsel go to get Cleanne and disguise her up and bring her out. Well, as they finish doing their planning, Bleanne jumps on her knight. Says, I know you're trying to sneak her out here. You got to take me with you. And goes, of course we will. Okay, so they need 3 riders, and they got 2 that have decent riding skill, but 1 that doesn't. But they figure that if she rides with her knight, he can use his more passion to increase his horsemanship. So that should work out. So they got, because there's the modifier if you're carrying somebody on your horse, because they're all wiggling around. These girls are, right? So they make their deal. Awareness rolls get missed, so they're all out in the courtyard. Now there's the minstrel guy trying to leave, and Garhas's folks make. I had Garhas. Garhas made his awareness roll, so he see, hey, where's everybody? Where's Cleanne? Right? So they're out in the courtyard, getting up on the horses, and Sir Garhas comes, kicks open the door, goes into his little ogre rage. I got to do that. It was fun. I will eat your flesh. And then everybody has to make horsemanship rolls to get out before he can get up close. And one of the player knights misses his horsemanship roll, so he's still trying to get control of his horse. And here comes Sir Garhas with that bench. Shwhack! Ended up hitting him, if I remember right. Or no, he missed. He ended up missing him. Maybe the horsemanship roll, keep control of the horse, get out of here, and they make it out. So they're heading across the field, and everybody's making their horsemanship rolls because of impassionments of some sort, right? But in the back behind them, Sir Garhas and his knights, they're coming as well. And it takes 3 rounds to get across the briar patch, and one of the knights tried to impassion his horsemanship, and he failed, or he fumbled. I don't remember now, but so it's minus, right? So he's missing his horsemanship rolls. Okay, so you're trying to get control of your horse. You're not moving forward. Garhas and his guys are getting closer. Goes forward, hurts his horse again, so he's got to get control of the horse. I think he missed every roll. Had to get control of his horse for each of the 3 rounds. But the first time it didn't do any damage to the horse because it got 5 points of armor kind of thing, right? But they get across again, and then they take off. They get around the cliff face. Dame, that's not Dame Love. Well, the other fairy lady, Dame Amor, maybe? Well, Lady Amor shows up. They do the spiel. The other knight, the lover knight, is there. They go into the grotto. Things happen. Gates close. Lady Amor invites him to join her group. One of the knights decides to join. So we talked about the 10-point shield and the sash and the kind of stuff. And then everybody gets all their glory points added up. It was a lot of fun. They had a great time. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. 19 minutes. We'll do that one next time.